There is something quietly spellbinding about Dartmoor. Ancient, untamed, a land that listens as much as it speaks. It holds a silence that feels vast and full, as though time here has slowed to the rhythm of the wind and stone. When I visit Dartmoor, I simply walk, sit, notice. Sometimes I paint. The changing skies, the heather, the lichens, the distant bleat of sheep, and the far cry of a raven. Here, solitude is not loneliness, it's communion with ourselves. In our busy world, it's so easy to be swept along by noise and haste. In the rush, we often miss the quiet, beautiful moments that surround us every day. The flutter of birds in a tree, a butterfly hovering near a flower, the simple pleasures of pencil on paper. These wild moors remind us that we don't need to rush, that poetry doesn't only live in books, it lives in the folds of the hills, the hush before the rain. For centuries, poets have come here to walk, reflect and write. Samuel Taylor Coleridge, the 18th century Romantic poet, was known for taking long walking tours across the English countryside. One of his most famous excursions was his 1797 walking tour through Devon, which included Dartmoor and parts of Exmoor. These journeys were notable because he walked for several days across the moor, often in harsh weather and difficult conditions. We can imagine him, his collar up, his coat soaked through, his hair wet to his forehead, as he trudged over the moorland, head down into the wind. He used these walks as a time for reflection, poetic inspiration, and philosophical thought. It's believed that the wild, elemental landscape of Dartmoor left a strong impression on him and helped inspire the Gothic and supernatural elements in his poetry. Now, while Coleridge didn't record every mile in fine detail, letters and journals from the period, as well as accounts by his contemporaries, confirm that he did travel across Dartmoor, often alone, soaking in the bleak grandeur of the moorland. In his poem on nature, Samuel Taylor Coleridge writes, "And what if all of animated nature be but organic harps diversely framed, that tremble into thought as o'er them sweeps." These few lines capture Coleridge's romantic belief that all of nature is alive, resonating like a harp touched by a divine unifying spirit, perfect for the feeling of standing on a windswept moor. Later, the English poet and essayist Edward Thomas wandered these paths, his words shaped by wind and stone. The moorland landscapes left a clear imprint on his writing. This 20th century poet travelled widely across the British countryside, often on foot, and wrote prose accounts of these journeys in his books and essays. One of his travel books, The South Country, published in 1909, includes observations of Dartmoor and other parts of the southwest of England. Though he didn't write a concentrated volume just on Dartmoor, it's clear from scattered references and his typical haunts that he did walk there, and the region's character, wild, ancient, melancholic at times, aligns beautifully with his poetic sensibility. In one of his verses he writes, "And I rose up and knew that I was tired, and continued my journey in the dark. The birds were silent in the trees, the wind crept over the silent land." Thomas's verse is introspective and quiet, a deeply personal communion with nature, where stillness is not absence but presence. The clouds are gathering above now, and the ponies are moving together to shelter from the wind. I hope you can feel the peace of this place too. I hope too that if the world feels too loud, that you can find your own quiet moor, even if it's only in your mind's eye. Perhaps it's a small quiet space at the end of the garden. Perhaps it's sitting in your favourite chair, looking out of the window. Perhaps it's picking up a paintbrush and painting something that reminds you of this wildness and stillness. Sitting with the stillness is important. It can remind us we're not separate from nature. We are nature, and we are already enough. Thank you for walking here with me today. If this quiet moment brought you peace, please come back again, subscribe, or leave a kind word below. Until next time, take care. Let's keep noticing the little things. And remember, keep your light shining softly bright